All right, we chat and stuff before a podcast episode, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, shit, we're gonna go all gas, no break on this one, and I don't even really need to introduce you really much because we've known each other for a couple of years, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, it's got time to get Toni on here. So,
Yeah.
guys, this episode is gonna punch you in the mouth. It's gonna be a fun story. I've heard her story multiple times. I've been in person multiple times. We're in what, couple different groups together,
Yeah.
and
We,
I'm like, yes, bring her on. So yeah, if you guys don't know this person, go to profile, and I'm gonna have all the links and stuff situated here. But I promoted in general, like this is one of the people that helped both my sister and myself um, in this industry. I'm gonna say industry. There's multiple industries we are in, but just in general, the industry. So if I butcher your last name, I know you're from Michigan. I'm from Wisconsin, but we can laugh a little bit here. But guys, it's Toni Vanschoyck. Oh,
you got it.
oh, there we go.
Perfect.
The Midwestern tongue got it's here. So, um, I was gonna ask, what color's your hair now?
Still purple.
There we go. The reason I asked you guys is, like, if you look at a high energy person as a male, I'm that. If you look at a high energy person, a female that's just changing the world, Toni's that. So without me like introducing everything, I want you to tell the story because I know your past, but nobody knows your past.
Okay. Well, that's kind of like a long-winded question. So I'm going to like give you like the high level overview of where I came from, how I became this entrepreneur, and what I love really about servicing other people, just as far as, becoming their own, their own boss, their own entrepreneur. So at a very early age, I started working when I was 14 years old. Unheard of. Y'all, I'm in my 50s. Usually kids were just going to school and then parents were paying for college and doing all the things. And, really all you had to do was be a student. But, that wasn't that way in my household. My dad was actually a very high end, white collar executive, but my mom was a business owner. So I had business acumen at a very early age. And even though I was doing my own thing, working in restaurants, making my own way, I still had that entrepreneur kind of mindset in my home when I was a teenager. So through the process of all of this, I had been working in restaurants. It was really easy to do back then when you were 14, 15, 16 years old. And I loved the industry. I loved being with people. I loved providing service. I loved all of it. So that served me very, very well through my college career. I went to college. Then I was a single parent, and I was just focusing on trying to finish school and provide for my daughter. And that's where, I really got the sense of really, loving on people. And that's where I am right now, right? Even though we have scaled, we've done great things, it was that particular instance very early on that gave me that sense of really wanting to help other people. So let me just fast forward. Throughout that, I met my second husband. I had two more children with him, and I didn't want to be in the restaurant industry anymore. I wanted to be home with my children. So I started my own brick and mortars, and it was great. It was awesome. It was outside of Detroit, Michigan. The big three were flourishing. That was 75% of our clientele. And then all of a sudden it tanked. And we had half of our accounts lost overnight. I had started in network marketing during that time just because I love the concept of it. I love the products of the company that I was in. And when that happened, I ramped up my network marketing business, and it was able to bridge that gap of the income that we lost. And so therefore, it really helped me. Then I got divorced again. You guys, third marriage, I found the guy. I have a prison sentence. So I've known my husband, my current husband, my third husband. I've known him for 40 years. We've been together for 16, married for 6. And we have a fabulous 15-year-old daughter out of that deal. He was a career bachelor. He never had kids. So when he met me and I had these amazing children, it was like Instawater, dad type of thing. But my husband also was a career employee, and he was working for a DBA firm and also was building roads and bridges, which was federally funded. So guess what? During this time of, us coming together, him really adopting my kids, because, my second husband was a deadbeat dad. He took on all of that financial responsibility, which he never had before. And then all of a sudden, it tanks in Chicago where we were living, and he's building roads, and his per diems got cut in half. And we were struggling. My business that I was in network marketing, it went out of business. I didn't have an income coming in. And my whole thing was to stay at home, to raise my children. And then, Jay's telling me, you've got to get a job. And I was like, I'm unemployable, totally unemployable.
There's two words I want to think of right now that I know you're going to say.
So, it really was a shit show for a long time. And we were in credit card debt. We had to literally, Chad, we hocked our boat. He hocked his boat, his Rolex to put food on the table. Our house was in foreclosure. And then in 2014, Mon8, our current company right now, it found me. I think it was a God whisperer or whatever it was. It found me. We launched this company back in 2014. It scaled very quickly. So here we are now. We're, in 2023, just on the, press or on the edge of Q1, and we're a $3 billion team. We have 425,000 market partners, or MoFam, on our team, basically distributors, and almost 4 million VIPs. That didn't come easily. I've worked really, really hard. My husband's worked really, really hard. We're a team together. But the best part is that we did not do this without fighting and getting through the shit and all of the failures and all of the crap, without being here right now with you, talking about this and showing other people it is possible. It is totally possible. So here I am. Right now, it's not about network marketing. It's not about Mon8. It's not about the shampoo or anything else. This is about showing other people that they can live their dream and live their life by design. And that's where we are. That's where we are, my friend.
Absolutely. And we heard, you guys are just hearing a preview of it. I don't know how many hours we were all together down in Dallas last year. 3 days, 4 days?
Yeah, it was 3.5 days.
Yeah. And we're just sitting there, and, in this, I don't even remember if your husband was there. I know it was you and your daughter were there.
Yep.
But in general, like, if you got, like, feel the energy through the podcast, I will tell you this straight out. I spent a couple days with you, Mike, and everyone, Toni, the whole crew. Like, the energy is even like amped up even 10 times more when you're in person, because I'm like, holy cow. And you're just like, let's go. But the thing about it is, throughout the 2 years, I noticed a couple things that you did. So, like, especially me, where I kind of threw out the podcast tour little situation. I'm like, holy cow, she's on the road. Like, this isn't like poof. Like, you're in Florida a lot. And when you're in Florida, you do many events, not like one. And I call them tours, but like, you're out touring, literally hand in hand with people.
Yeah, 100%. So I actually have a huge hub in Chicago. I have a huge hub in Michigan, Florida, like you mentioned. But my whole thing is getting out and really showing people what's possible, just really loving on them, hugging on them. I know, being where we were at to where we are now, with all of the challenges that we've had, is that people do not, one, have enough belief in themselves. Their self-esteem is just really challenged. There's no self-love, self-worth, or really like a relationship with their heart and their soul. So I want to be that person that can show them that, you really have validation. What you want is really where you should go, your dreams, your goals, whatever. And Chad, I have to go back and I have to say is that we had this childlike wonderment and curiosity and the things that we wanted to do. And that's where I want to get people back to, because that is where they need to be in order to be the best version of themselves. No matter what that is. It could be that you love to knit, or you love reading books, or, you know, that you love makeup, or you love working out, whatever the case is. You have a message, and God put you on this earth for that one particular craft that you have. And everybody knows what it is, but it's like sometimes you got to peel back the layers of the onion to help them figure it out. And that's what I love doing.
Yeah, and I'm looking at, and there's a few things that everyone teaches in this industry. I'm looking at, okay, we're on audio right now here, guys. We do have video, and I'm gonna put this up, but on my left, which is your right, you have a vision board. Right behind you, you got books. And I'm sitting there going, I'm like people don't fail to realize there's one thing I loved in the early, let's say mid 2000s, because I think I was part of a network marketing crew through Detroit too. And I'm just going to keep that company quiet. But in general, the thing that they promoted a lot in general with any of the entrepreneurship world is dream building. Get out, go test drive the cars, go put the dream boards out. And that's the thing I'm sitting here, I totally forgot. I'm like, I got to go in the rich houses. I got to go in the cars. And it's not so much for the set of, and I'm going to use Dave Ramsey here, for example, to like drive a crappiest car and all that stuff. Yeah, we get that part. I get that part. But it's the part of expanding your mind.
And you know what? 100%. But the one thing that I want to say is that creating a vision board without an action plan is pointless, right? You can have that. And I actually do vision board workshops all over. I love doing them, but you have to have a tangible action plan. The other thing is that you can't let anybody, and you know, regardless of what you want to do or where you want to go or who you want to be, if they're going to be the negative Nelly that's going to tell you that you can't do it, then you have to reevaluate that relationship. And I tell people that all the time, is that you can have a vehicle, but if you don't know how to get to the end result with that vehicle, then you're basically spinning your wheels. So the one thing that I want people to gain from this is that regardless of you know, what your goals, your dreams, I don't even call them that anymore. I want to call them your accomplishments, the things that you truly want to do in your life to make your life better, your family's life better, the people around you, to give back to gratitude, to give back to society, whatever that is that you have to put your blinders on and you have to just go for it and not listen to the noise. Because I'm going to tell you one other thing, people's opinions, they ain't paying your bills.
Amen to that one. Amen to that one. And the thing that we're sitting there looking at, and you're talking about, obviously you're at, like, you went through many layers to get to where you're at right now, which I get. And I'm going to use a friend of ours, for example, like he started a dog business and then he went into publishing and all that stuff. And I'm not going to throw his name out. Both of us know exactly who it is. People failed to start the first one to get into the next one, into the next one. And it's not like a competitive thing where you build up, but it's like, you know, between you and him, the skills that I think both you guys said it straight out, like go into something, start action, learn it, figure out what it's about. Okay. And then that's going to build you for the next one.
So I'm going to tell you something that has served me very well. The universe loves messy momentum. Doesn't matter. Just do it. Don't think about it twice. Don't, you know, second guess yourself. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. As I mentioned before, is that you just have to decide and you need to jump in and you need to be all in. That is the key thing about starting anything. I don't care if it's an exercise regimen. I don't care if it's a personal development, professional development, if it's a business, you know, or education. Starting something new, like I'm terrified to paddleboard, but I'm going to go start it this weekend because I've never done it before. And we have a lot of gators and sharks out here, but I'm still going to go do it just to learn something new. Right. So the one thing that will hold yourself back is fear. Don't ever think about that, because you know what? God's always got you. So no matter what you're going to do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what challenges you're faced with. in relationships, in business, in your faith, in your fitness goals, doesn't matter. Those are just things that are being presented to you in order for you to learn new skills, to not step in the shit, but step around it and find solutions.
There's one thing that there's been a highlight, especially lately in my life, and we're going to keep going to that. But at the tipping point where you guys were selling everything, and you know, in a different group of mine, we have a wonderful guest that just launched an apparel company called Burn the Ships. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, every turning point in my life was at the moment where you burned everything. And
Yeah.
and I'm looking, I'm like, holy, like you launch at the time where you're like, all right, fuck it, all of it. Like we're all of it. And it's all in theory is what we call it. But I'm like, you know, like mine, I burned all the alcohol addiction out. And someone asked me today, because I'm getting insurance checked, and he's like, dude, how much personal stuff you got? I said, I barely have anything. He's like, what about that? I'm like, I barely have anything. To be honest, I'm like, because I went all into my business and I sold 3/4 of it. So like, you guys, when you're in action and you're fearing something, it's to the point where you have to, and Sean uses it perfect, where it's like you got to get so pissed off at the pain that you just say fuck it and change.
Exactly. Like you are done. There's a period of indifference where you just do not give a fuck what happens, because this is the only way that you can move forward, and that is to put everything that you have into it. And, you know, Chad, I've been there through my marriages. I've been there through even my children. I have 5 children. 2 of them are super fractured relationships. But you know what? I did what I thought was right in order to make the situation better. It does not matter. Know that you have put everything that you possibly can into it, emotionally, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, and just friggin' go for it. That, I mean, seriously, when you do that and you do not have any way to go backwards, it's the only way sometimes you can propel yourself forwards.
I'm exactly, and I'm going to add one more thing in here because we're rolling, and I'm just like, we're going to do this, guys. And I'm gonna rip on Ramsey here for 2 seconds because he's been a good guy. We can tease pretty well, but you know, if this situation and this jump and this chance and this all in requires you to just go on plastic and go, you have to do it. It's not like, oh, I don't care what, like, fucking put it on plastic and let's go.
So I'll tell you what, so because of our situation in 2014, I lost my business. My husband's per diems got cut. We literally were 3 months behind on our house payment. We got a foreclosure letter in the mail, and I found this opportunity in network marketing. You have to pay to play. And, you know, I've been in this industry for 25 years. There's no other way. You think about, you know, entrepreneurs that they start a business from grassroots, ground up. It's tens of thousands of dollars. And that's really why I love this industry, because you can do it, but it's duplicable and you already have the vehicle, right? You're just the driver.
Yep.
And I told my husband, and I said, because I hadn't had an income in a year and a half, I said, I found something. I really think this is going to take off and it's going to be huge. And I said, I need $400. And we barely had the next house payment just to get us by, to keep us out of foreclosure. And he looks at me, and he's never, you know, said no or doubted me. He's always supported me. And he's like, okay, he goes, but you got to be all in 100%. And I said, okay. So I bought my kit, and at the time there were only 9 products, and we jumped in both feet. We had our first initial business launch, and it was a total flop, and I was flipping my shit. So anyways, we just kept plugging along. And in that first month, we made almost 10 grand in 1 month. So I'm not making income claims or anything like that. I worked hard. I went to the mat. I said, okay, here's what we need to do. We couldn't have a customer base yet. It was just based on, recruiting people into a business. And if you know anything about network marketing, you build your business based on other team members. And it's a fabulous business model. Y'all, I've been in this gig for 25 years. But the best part is that, we didn't expect it to scale as it has done, and how we have been able to help so many people. But that's led us to, our podcast platform, our author platform, our speaking platform, so many different things that this has done. So my only thing to you guys, don't wait for the perfect moment. Just friggin' execute. No one, you know what? The only person that matters is you. Don't disappoint yourself because you're listening to some dipshit on social media. Don't do that.
And I was going to say, what's the worst going to happen? You claim bankruptcy. All right, cool. Everything's wiped out. You start over again.
Exactly. So we've done that. We've been to, we were over, 6 figures in debt, barely hanging on by threads. But you know what? I believed that there was something greater, and I knew that I was made for what we're doing right now. And that is my God path.
Exactly. Well, let's end it this way, and I don't want to cut it because me and you can come back for many, many episodes. Like me and you could talk for hours, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, let's just make it special because this was such a punch in the mouth, and I want to save it. So, where can all my listeners and people on social media go find your information?
So, on Instagram, you can find me at Toni Vans official. So it's TONI, V as in Victor, ANS official. Shoot me a DM. I can give you more information. If you're interested, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this, Chad, but I got to put a plug in for our CRM, which is a platform that's completely automated. It encompasses 24 different things that you can do for your business in order to save time or money. That's cam.effing simple.com. And then we can, get you started in automating everything from funnels to websites to all sorts of other stuff.
And there's a few other layers that's tied to that Effing Simple too. And I'm like, God, I love this girl. So thank you very much. And like I said, I will be seeing you plenty of times down the road here. And I just hope one of these weeks I can get back on the call every couple Wednesdays?
Yes.
So I was going to say, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
welcome
I so
you back
appreciate
anytime.
it. So honored, my man.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.